person. Okay, we're live.
Thank you.
All right. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Uh, Elder Deacon Wooden is on. He's always the first one when I come on live. Well, this is our annual
Our
live, our annual live anniversary live. This is what something that we started doing.
Years ago.
Uh,
8 years now.
yeah,
About 8
yes,
years ago,
yeah. It's been about 8 years ago. You remember the first one?
Yeah, we were.
Where were we at?
I'm thinking the first one was at the house. We were in the car. First one was in the car.
In the car.
In the car. Yes, the first one was in the car. Then we had one in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and two in Hilton Head. One in
We've done that many?
Yes, we did. We did quite a few. One in Daytona Beach. It doesn't seem like it. But we have, I'm talking about far as anniversary lives. We just been, and then one riding, just simply riding in the car. So it's been about 8 years with this. If you count back. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. We just kind of started doing it spontaneously and just kind of coming on, and different people were asking questions, and we would first of all talking, and people were asking questions, and would you believe that turned into a retreat, a marriage retreat? All we were doing was just talking, and it turned into a retreat. And I'm First Lady Murray, for those that don't know me, or you can just call me Mary Murray. I am the proud wife of Larry Stacy Murray Sr. Yes. And this today marks our 36th wedding
36
anniversary. 36th wedding anniversary. And you know, it's been wonderful. I've been really excited about starting our day early this morning, headed to Savannah, went out to Cracker Barrel. We ate breakfast. We had to get out of the 912. They would call it, we had to get out of the 912. Usually we go to a different state or somewhere far away, but not too far. But we used to go to a different state to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But since we just got back from Florida, from the International Women's Convention, we felt that it was necessary not to just go to another state. And whatever we had planned, we can do it locally. So we stayed local. We stayed in the 912, but not in not Liberty Long. We did.
Pastor Chambliss is on. Brenda, you remember Brenda?
Yes, I do. To everyone that is joining us, I don't know who's actually on. He has the phone. I'm just looking at the camera. But to everyone that's joining us, we do see that some are constantly, okay, I see it there now. Yeah. Thank you, baby. Thanks for showing it to me. That are logging on. Thank you so much. We've been blessed to be married for 36 years. And it's been a plum joy to be with this quiet man. He's very quiet, and y'all don't know him like that. You know him as the talker, the preacher, the inspirator, the teacher. I know him as a quiet storm. He's a quiet storm. I can get him to talk when the grandkids come over, or we're watching a movie or something of that nature. But for the most part, he doesn't talk much. And so, but we usually come together to organize, or just kind of just go for it, raw as we call it.
We decided I was saying to you that I wanted to be a little more intentional, because people are watching, and we get called upon, and when we do little things like this, we're helping some people. So I wanted to be a little more intentional this year, and so that's why when I asked you, how do we get started doing this?
Yeah.
And I thought it was in Hilton Head, in the car. I remember that one because I remember Bishop Matthew Odom coming on and giving us a fantastic compliment.
Right.
So
that was just one of the times.
was that the first one though?
No, we were
Okay,
just doing them. We were
Her
doing,
memory is better than mine.
we were doing them kind of spontaneously. Like every time we would have an anniversary, we would go somewhere maybe to eat or go out of the state, and we would just be talking in the car. So and then again, now the one in Hilton Head. Well, yeah, the one in Hilton Head, because we've gone there at least 3 times. The one in Hilton Head was like a continuation because then we started saying, all right, don't forget, we have to go eat and then we're going to come out of the restaurant and do the live. So we started being a little intentional, not necessarily in a particular place, but most of the time we were doing the lives were in the car. We were in the car doing the lives or on a patio at one of the hotels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing led to another, and as no, I tell you what, we started doing it. We started doing that, and then I was tinkling around doing a live, and we started doing them here on Friday nights.
Yeah, around 10 o'clock.
Around 10 o'clock. And then that's how the retreat started.
That is correct.
Because we had folks that was
So many that wanted us to do the retreat.
So so that's how we first got it started. But the retreat, when we did the retreat was so impactful.
That's correct.
And marriages were better because those that attended, and it's just something that we will never forget because we didn't expect it to be to go over that well. But the testimonies that came from the retreat, and of course, we just did a seminar recently in Augusta with the Riddicks,
yes,
and we're supposed to be going back down there. But anyway, we are. This is, I guess, part of our daily, annual. Part of our plans now that we would come and do a live and just talk about our past experiences in our relationships. And of course, today we did something that we've never done before, and I thought that was quite interesting for us to get up early in the morning. We're getting older, and to have breakfast. And we actually kicked off the outlet. We opened it up. We were the first ones there.
Outlet. We opened it up. There was nobody out there. The owners weren't even. They hadn't even had their doors open. So in other words, we were able to go to the outlet, the Tangler outlet, and no one was there. But we were like 5 minutes before it was time for them to open up the outlet. But the doors began to open. So we were able to, right after breakfast, we were able to go to right in to get our nails. Look at my nails. What y'all think? What you think? Match my nails and yeah. I mean, hey.
I got mine done. I needed
it badly.
Yeah, I had a bad case of
biting on these nails.
So, Elder Shepherd, God bless you, sir. Good to see you on.
Shepherd, I love you, my brother, my friend. I promise you, I don't see what he sees. If I do that, I'm gonna have to put these on to look down.
Our son, Apostle Deshay, is on. He's sending us a greeting.
Yes.
Sister Sharona.
Yes.
You all like and share.
Yeah, share. We're gonna be up here for a little bit. And
for at least another 35 or 40 minutes. And it's been recorded.
Okay.
We're using this new platform that I'm trying to get adjusted to. Many of you probably know about Restream. So we are actually broadcasting from 3 different platforms. Yeah. We're on my page, we're on YouTube, and we are on the church page.
All right. Let's get
So
going. Let's get started.
I want you all to start. I want you all to like our page, like my YouTube page. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and we would try to entertain them. Brother Cedric, Pastor Cedric Jones.
It's gonna be on tonight. If my son Cedric is on, that's our spiritual son. If he's on, then you know he's gonna make it more exciting and interesting as we move forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was hoping I was kind of pushing Pastor on because he was just kind of dragging his leg. And I'm like, come on, baby. We said we're gonna come live, so let's do it.
Yeah, Elder Peterson is on. Bless you, Elder
Lord.
Peterson.
I know he loves that fellowship of the ministry.
Yeah.
Marriage.
Yeah, so we are, Sister Juanita, God bless you, all the way from Michigan. I keep getting it wrong. Is it Michigan? I keep getting it wrong.
And the Shepherd is in what country?
No, the Shepherd is in.
The Shepherd, where you at?
Illinois?
Ohio?
No, Ohio.
Ohio. Or
yeah.
Iowa. I'm sorry.
Cedric said he's behaving tonight.
Behave, Cedric. Cedric is in Florida. So obviously we have different states being represented tonight. So I guess we'll get started. Let's get going. We wanted to kind of get people time to come on.
Yeah. So let's talk about something that I think would be sort of helpful to other couples when they're going out of town and they got a marriage or anniversary coming up. How did we utilize the conference that we attended last week in regards to our anniversary, which helped us today because we felt like we had already did something.
And you know, I personally take anniversaries, birthdays, all of these important events very, very seriously, and most females do. Females, I know you're out there, so you can just jump in the chat box at any time. I take them very seriously because I see it as another day that God allowed us to be together and be unified. I think that's most important. It's unified. So I don't look at it like it's just another day. Yes, it's just another day, but not another day to spend up a whole lot of money. So we went to Orlando, Florida for our International Women's Convention last week. And so we took one of the days last week and utilized it as a celebration of our anniversary for this week. So we went out to dinner in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah. But not only did we do that, we had the opportunity to treat one of our former pastors.
That's where I was headed.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Not much has changed. He said I interrupt him. So I guess after 36 years, we still interrupting each other. That's fine. Yes, we were able to go out. That's where I was headed, Pastor. I was not finished the part, but we were able to go out to dinner, and we took out one of our former pastors. We've had about 3 or 4. Three in Germany, but one of our former pastors that was in Germany with us, Bishop Wilson. What's Bishop Wilson?
Jesse Wilson.
Bishop Jesse Wilson and Lady Darlene Wilson from Hawaii.
And hopefully we're going to be going there soon.
Yeah, he's not letting me finish. Now you know what it feels like. Yes.
You know what it feels like.
Yeah, I know what it feels like. Yeah, I know what it feels like. Because he says I interrupt him. And we took them out to dinner. So in other words, we wanted to be a blessing to them, even though our anniversary. Now, they really had a hard time with that. And I'm sure they watched it because they wanted to pay, but we just wanted to be a blessing to somebody. And plus, he was our former pastor, he and his first lady, and they were very, very great to us, even though it was a short time.
They were good examples.
They're great examples, and they were our pastors just for a year, but that 1 year was very impactful, and it was one that we would never forget. And so they always come all the way from Hawaii. They were in the military. I think they're from another state, but they ended up over in Hawaii as their final duty station, and they, retired there in Hawaii, so they continue to live there. He is the bishop now of Hawaii. So, and we were to do that as one of our days that we took, and we watched the service online while we were there, for that particular night. And then we just went out and spent time with them and then enjoyed ourselves and spent some time together, which was, we were already in another state. So that time, so today was much easier to say, okay, but we had it together. And so usually the man, it's just kind of like that sometimes. Usually the man, honors the wife and he has it all laid out on what we're going to do. And so this time, being that we celebrated in Florida.
Are those facts?
Those are not facts, but usually the male, I don't know, y'all can help me out, but usually the male takes care of the wife on their anniversary, do something special for the wife on their anniversary, cards, flowers, take her somewhere special, buy her some jewelry. It's usually jewelry. And so this was one of my anniversary presents, but it's been so long ago. It's been so long ago. But usually it's jewelry, it's things that we kind of expect. And again, I said this year was a little different. So we just celebrated last week, and then we carried on a little bit this week, which was today. Everything was kind of programmed. So what we did was we talked it out together and said, instead of going around the bush, I told Pastor, let me just help you. Let me just help you. Let's go to breakfast. Let's go. Let's get dressed and go to breakfast. So I didn't want him to try to, drain his mind trying to figure out what was going to happen. So we went that route, and it was very good, because in the past, like I said, I kind of made the arrangements, booked the hotels, and went to the different states, and we would stay, and then we would do things spontaneously while we were in those different states, like go to the beach, or we went to Daytona Beach last year, and we went to the 500, Daytona 500, took a tour of the Daytona 500, something that we've never done before. And so I think celebrating the anniversary together and the age that we're getting, as in the number of years, 36 years, it's great. And so why not do something we've never done before? And that was what we did last year, was something we never done before. Okay.
Yeah. And so we did the manicure and the pedicure, and then something also happened today after we finished the manicure and pedicure. We went to the movies, and something funny happened afterwards or during the movie. You can't think of it?
No, you just went to sleep. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Keep me getting creative right now. You so up with it. Watch this. I started movie. I can't think of it. Well, yes, I mean, watch this. He started snoring. We went to see Top Gun Maverick.
That's a really good movie.
That's a good movie. We're not going to tell y'all about it. I promise you, it's one that I would watch again. We went to see Top Gun Maverick, and he in there. I'm like, baby, it's all right. It's time for the action part of the movie. I'm ready. I'm up there all excited. Oh yeah. I said, baby, you don't go to sleep and snore. And snore when it's quiet. He didn't snore when it was the action part. It's when it got quiet. And there were people in there.
I'm talking about people hearing you. I was a little bit embarrassed.
I'm over here kicking and pushing in the movie. I'm gonna do that at
and
in the bed.
The chairs was
laid back.
We went to the theater where
recline.
They had the recliners, and
I knew we were over when he went back. I said, looks like I'm gonna be enjoying this movie with these other folk in here, because he ain't about to be here with me. I'm like,
yeah, I think I got a little bit too comfortable.
He laid the chair back, popcorn in his hand. Popcorn in his hand. Talking about, do I remember what happened? As usual.
Yeah.
Well, of course I remember. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, that was. I just thought. I thought it was.
Lord have mercy.
I didn't think it was funny at the time when you woke me up, because you sort of scared me a little bit.
See, that lets you know he was in a deep sleep. If he was scared, he was in a deep sleep, y'all.
But
deep sleep.
So we very, very simple day. Very simple day. I thought
Yeah,
it was.
very simple.
I thought it was sort of unique, and I think it's something that we want to do next year if we're here, if we're
going out of
home.
state. We're going out of the state next
But
year.
I want to say that, you know,
Get a nap.
to those couples that will go out and celebrate the day. If you don't have anything planned, if you're home or whatever, start the day early. And I'm glad we started the day early because today, according to the weather report, supposed to be in the high 70s, 75.
No, 90,
90, was it 90 something?
Yes,
I know it was real hot.
Not 70.
It was real hot. It was real hot, and so to go out in the morning when the weather was really literally perfect. When we went to the outlet,
it was very nice.
It was almost perfect.
It really was.
But then leaving, then the sun began to come out. We also did something that she allowed me to have a hot donut, well, a couple, two Krispy Kremes, and I sort of gotten away from eating Krispy Kremes because I know they're not good for me, but I loved eating them. And so she had one, I had two, and then we sort of had one of those sugary drinks, which was very, very sweet. And so we did something that we don't normally do. And then after the movies, of course, I did get some flowers. I was going to get them early. I don't usually have her with me when I get the flowers, but she wanted the flowers. We got the flowers. But then the night is still young. So, but what else? What else?
He asked me, he said, Pastor just made a statement. She wanted the flowers. He was going to get the flowers, as he said earlier.
I'm usually up early.
He's usually up early.
Before you even get out of the bed.
Before I get out of the bed, not necessarily before I wake up, because I'm usually awake. If he steps out the bed, I know he's out of the bed. So that lets you know what 36 years would do. I might be in the bed. I might have the covers pulled up over my head, but I know he's out of the bed. Yes, that's what you know. That's what you do when you know your mate. When you know your mate. I might not be moving, but I'm there. Like I said, I don't have to go deep into a research or what have you. But I mean, if you are female on here tonight or husbands, do you all usually get your spouses flowers or some? Because some people don't like flowers. Some people don't like. See, I like flowers. I like cards. I personally like jewelry. Okay.
Most women like flowers.
I'm just not everybody don't, but I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see how many actually like flowers.
Okay.
That's my friend Tanya. Girl, this is on?
Yes.
Yes, that's my Tanya Arden. That's one of my former co-workers. Yes, she's
really?
retired now. Oh yes, Tanya. You keep
Hello,
following.
Tanya.
I love you, Tanya.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
If you
Oh, by the way, Tanya done been married 43 years.
42
years. or 43. I just messaged her before I came downstairs. Yes.
43 years.
That's all to you, Tanya.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful because the climate and the the attack on the institution of marriage now is so strong. That's one of the reasons why I am so I like doing this because it encourages somebody. We may never know who, but we're encouraging somebody in their relationship.
Right.
And if there's anything that we can do to, inspire others, that's what we want to do. I believe that's part of our assignment now to do this. Yeah. But let's. What about the book that we plan? We've been talking about writing a book.
Like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Prayerfully over the summer, since I'm off, y'all pray for me.
Stooks.
Y'all pray for Stooks. I'm going to tell you something about him before we talk about this workbook journal that we're going to write on making your marriage work, okay? Brother Stooks, he is such a great example, and I'm going to always say that. He is such a great example on how he encourages his relationship with his wife. I mean, I don't care where he's at. He's going to make a post and say something about the mere fact that you're in my presence makes me happy or something like that. And I'm always going to comment on that, because when I commented just the other day when he posted, he and his wife, and I commented, I don't have it in front of me as to what I said. And I was saying to him, this is what I said to him. You are living pretty much in a nutshell. You are doing exactly what the Bible said. Husband love your wife as Christ loves the church, loves with an S, as Christ loves the church. And I said, you are actually doing that, because not too many people would do that, because if Christ loves the church, then how does Christ love the church? And if Christ loved the church, and we can't be, so spiritual that we get so caught up into other things and we forget key important facts about how to treat the wife and wife treat the husband. I know I treat my husband wonderful. This is something I know I do.
First class. I'm a blessed man.
That's something I know I do, and so and when I see other couples doing what is necessary to do, I'm going to go in your DM, or not even that, or go on your page to tell you that this is beautiful. I got to encourage you, because it means a lot to me when we are building other people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you was going to, before you said that, you was going to mention about the discussion of the workbook.
Yes.
That we're planning.
Yes, we are in preparation. We have done quite a few marriage seminars, retreats, and all of these conferences. We've done quite a few, quite a few. And literature, I'm real profound on that, because I'm a hands-on person. And the research is currently changing all the time. And marriages, especially now, after the pandemic or during the pandemic, which the pandemic is not 100% over yet. So we are in the process of compiling information, as well as a workbook to help enhance our kind of format when we start talking about relationships and marriages. And so it's my prayer that we would get it done while I'm off over the summer.
Yeah, and it's important because, again, we've been able to encourage a lot of couples, and we didn't realize the impact that we were making in some of the lives of the people that we knew. And so now we sort of sense that this is part of what we do in ministry. In fact, this month during our Week of the Word conference, we're having a marriage seminar. And if you're in this area, we would like for you to come. That's going to be on a Friday night. We've actually appointed a couple over the marriage ministry, which they're very well capable of doing it. They've been, how long have the Simmons been married? They've been married longer than we have.
Not much longer.
Not much longer?
Okay, not much longer. Maybe 30 some years, but not much longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have been married quite some time. And I think one of the events that we've had years ago, they were actually part of it. They did a class for us. So
Stefan is up there.
Yeah, Bishop Stefan.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
Yes, and you're gonna highlight. I'm learning the tool. So if I'm talking, I'm asking to show something. I just wanted to see what we have here. So yes, we do plan to do that. Seems like every time I get ready to start planning, something comes up. So, but it's going to be okay. Yes, we're going to be all right. All right. So expect that to happen. I don't know when it will come out, but we will work on the format, the outline, and get that material together so we can go ahead and get it published. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when will be our next retreat? We were talking about that as well. Since the pandemic, we were
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one to do before you we didn't did that one. Okay. Are you interviewing me, boy?
Go ahead. Yeah. So does it seem like it's been 36 years?
Not really. Not really. The only difference is, I guess we Because we're from North Carolina. For those that think we're from Georgia, we're not from Georgia. We love Georgia, but we're not from Georgia. Seem like things kind of happen quickly, and so now, believe it or not, I got my sister-in-law. I don't know if this night Tuesday. They might be on. My sister. Thank you. Okay. My sister-in-law, she made a post and said that she was responsible for us getting together, which is true. And then her sister, Monica, got up and said, um, I thought my mom was responsible. So I responded to the text message. Responded to the the Facebook message from Monica. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, dear LPs. He knows how to get us going, right? And so I said that my sister-in-law's mother, my sister-in-law is Connie Murray, and her mother came to the
He's
church.
on here.
She's on.
My brother's on here. He was on here anyway.
Okay, her mother came to our church, so she joined the church. So that's what I mean by being without her mother being at the church. There would have been no Connie, which Connie was there. There would have been no Connie to be there to relay the message from Larry to me, which he wanted me to take. Y'all, he wanted me to take his phone number and call him. I won't train like that. He wanted Connie, being that Connie was about to marry his brother. She was almost about to marry his brother. So he wanted to know who I was. He came to visit our church with his brother, which his brother came because his fiance was there. So, they had reasons for coming to visit my church. And so they brought this good looking, fine man. Oh my God. Now I was talking to somebody else and somebody else just left me. And I was definitely talking to somebody else. And so this fine man coming to church, you have to understand where I came from. My father's a pastor. And at that time, even though we had...
Connie's watching.
Good. I'm up here, Connie. At that time, when when you got a lot of women in the church, and there's very few men, and then somebody as fine as my husband walks in, and, we were sitting in the choir with my sisters. We were all touching each other. Everybody was like, psst, psst, did you see him? About this time, I was just tired. I'm like, I saw him, but I didn't see him. Because everybody was interested, because he was a man. He was tall. He had on white shoes, white pants, a white shirt, a red jacket, and a red tie. I promise you that's what he had on. And that was over 36 and a half years ago, because we've been married 36 years and we only dated for 6 months. So that was 36 and a half years ago. And so, so for some reason, I guess I had to sing or lead a song that Sunday at church. He wanted to know who this girl was that was leading that song. So quiet little Connie didn't talk at the church. We were like, hey, I was always talking to Connie's mama. That's who I was talking to, was Connie's mother. That's why I felt like had not she been there, Connie's mom, not been there, then Connie wouldn't have been talking to me because she was too quiet. So Connie's mom was always, how you doing? I'm so glad to see you. And I would come home for the weekend. She was like, come here, girl, with your pretty self. You going to sing today? She was always an encourager to me. And a lot of people in the family don't know that until when Connie's mom passed this year. I said some of that at the funeral, but she was very instrumental in my life. And, there were so many other people around, but she gravitated to me. Thank you. Had she not gravitated to me, little quiet Connie wouldn't have relayed the message to me, because she was like, hey, Mary. I'm like, I didn't know Connie.
Thank you, Connie, thank you for relaying the message.
I didn't even know she knew my name, but we saw Connie at the church as a quiet, smart little girl. She was off in college at the business school somewhere in Raleigh. And so we were like, oh, she is so pretty. So we were just adorned by her beauty, and she was so quiet. But when she spoke to me, we were like, oh, she talks. And so that was really good, because I know Connie's mom was very outgoing, and she really liked my personality. And so it was no problem at all. Every time I came home, I would always find Connie's mom to give her the hug and show her the love, because she was always looking to me. I was wondering where you were and if you were coming home this weekend. So that was what Connie's mom, and that's what she was in my life. And so that's how Connie was able to relay a message, and she gave me the number. I laughed because I knew I wasn't gonna make the call, but I saw the man. Oh, I ain't crazy now. I did see him, but when she said he wanted my phone, wanted me to call him, it was etched in my mind that I can't call him because I was taught that a woman don't call a man if a man wants you, he calls you. Hey,
that ain't true these days.
I know, not these days, but
if you want somebody, you
just
let
go
it
after
be known
them.
that you want them. I don't see a problem with it.
That
I
was
didn't even know.
That was 30-something. We were taught that.
But I didn't know all of that was going on when
we were taught that.
you told me that. But
we were
I must have been a lean, mean fighting machine, as they say in the Army. Then I was looking good.
You were looking good. I promise you, he found me within the week. I don't know what happened. Connie must have found. I don't know how he got the number. I think he called mom and dad out, or Connie found the number where I was in D.C., Maryland. And next thing I knew, this man is calling me and asking me, "Where you been? I've been trying to get up with you." First of all, I don't even know you. But we had met. We did meet at officially met at her at Connie's wedding. We officially met at Connie's wedding, and so that's how that information kind of disseminated, and we were able to get together right at Connie's wedding. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we usually talk about this every year.
We do.
We go over how we met each other, and so forth. But I want to ask you questions because I think this is how it started with the interview in Hilton Head. We started interviewing each other. You remember that? That was I think that was one of the things that got us going. So, what would you say, as now been in the game 36 years, as they say, been in the game 36 years, what advice will you give to younger spouses as far as keeping the marriage spicy, keeping it, upbeated and all of that kind of stuff? Okay.
I will first give an advice as don't compare yourselves with anybody else. If a person has been married for quite a while and they have things like material things, don't try to measure your happiness with someone else's happiness. They probably took them 10 to 15 to 20 years to get to where they were or are. And so in time, God would allow you to be in a place that you need to be. Next, if you are young married couples, 0 to 10 years, I consider that young, okay? 0 to 10 years. I'm just talking to the women now. Women, give the man time to advance financially. Give him time to get to where God would have him to be, and not the expectations be so high that you feel like he's not providing like he should when he is trying. If you see your spouse trying, give him time to, do what is necessary to do to get where he needs to be, to provide for you. And sometimes you have to compromise in the sense of when we first got married, I mean, we stayed in the government quarters. What's wrong with government quarters? That's a place to stay. It had government furniture. We didn't have furniture. So whatever was there, you make that your home. Make that your home until God gives you the increase so that you can provide and get things that you desire. So I would say, love on your husband, build your husband, and don't embarrass your husband in front of other people. And you might ask me, what do I mean by that? I don't know about this new modernized relationships where people get in front of other folk and they start talking about their personal business in front of other people.
I think sometimes it's they can be a little playful too much.
They don't play. Yeah, that's not good.
In their own space, they
right.
They joke with one another.
Right.
But then before friends and family, I don't think that's a good idea.
It's not a good idea because you're going to say something.
Wrong.
Yeah, and then you were like, I'm not talking. And you can tell by people's demeanor that it can be offensive sometimes. If y'all play like that behind closed doors, then keep that behind closed doors. But when you're in front of people, build your husband. I'm only talking about the women now, so I'm sure you're going to dive in and talk about the men in a minute on how to treat these wives. But build your husband, compliment him. I compliment my husband every day. And here's a key to complimenting now. Don't just say you look good. Specify what you mean by you look good. Tell him how the tie matches the little hanky in the cloth or the cufflinks. Don't just say you look good. That's a general statement. Be specific as to what he looks good as. And good is a real low word on the scale of adjectives. Find some more adjectives to describe to build your mate.
And I would say from the husband standpoint, when it comes to
I got some hearts. Wait a minute, I got hearts.
that's Sister.
Yeah, whoever it is, I thank you.
She thank you for the hearts. From the husband side of the house, I think it's important that we will when it comes to receiving counsel or advice from someone that you look up to, I don't think that you should let your pride get in the way. A lot of men are prideful when it comes to working and developing, working out situations and circumstances when it comes to the marriage relationship. In other words, we've had people whereas they was having trouble in their marriages, and maybe the wife wanted to come, but the husband didn't want to come because he thought that he could just work things out, or they didn't need the counseling. But I don't think that's a wise thing to do. If you're having issues, if you're having concerns in your relationship, it's all right to seek out counsel, but make sure that you're seeking out counsel from the right people. Some of the people that you can be listening to may not be the right people to listen to. I always tell our church to be mindful of who you lend your ears to. So when it comes to marital relationships and strengthening the marriage, listening, I've learned to be a good listener. And then I've learned to also, whatever I'm hearing in my heart, in my spirit, as to some of the things that I know that she is expressing from my heart, I try to not only hear, but I try to mark that somewhere in my heart, or remember what she's saying to me, so that I can capitalize on that and do better in the days to come. One of the things, and I'm not ashamed, I'll be very transparent. One of the things that I'm learning, and I'm still learning to do, is to communicate. Men, we have a problem with communicating. And I thought it was just me until we started doing the marriage retreats. And then I also learned just what you said, how important compliments are to the wives, your significant other. By the way, you look very on camera, you look very beautiful. You look bright and refreshed. Yeah, you look real good.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so
keep going. Keep talking. Well, this is helping him and me too, y'all.
So I'm learning, and it don't cost you anything to make to compliment. And I do want to say today, just going out and just doing what we did today, where you wasn't pressuring me about spending money and all of that. Just she's very easy to please. I think my wife is one of the most, though she loves nice things, I think that she's one of the nicest people that you ever want to meet, first of all. And that's one of the reasons one of the things that attracted me to her. She was a people's person, and I knew that later on down the road, in the years to come, being a soldier at that time, and being in the leadership role, even in the military, I knew that if I was going to be married, I needed somebody that would compliment me or be able to understand who I was, and somebody that I can trust. But then later on, in being called into the ministry, I really appreciate the personality that God has given to you, because you're very people oriented, and it just makes things that much easier for me to do ministry when I know I can trust my wife. I've heard some very tragic testimonies or complaints from other pastors where their wives have actually killed the ministry. So I am thankful, and I give you kudos while they're listening. I think I said it before, but I say it again. But it's important to have somebody by your side that compliments you in more ways than one. So, what else? You got any question you want to ask me?
Well, what did you find most? I mean, what one thing that you could think of that sticks out that you could say that in our 36 years of being married that was significant, most significant?
Well, I think when we got married, in 1986, June the
Hey, boy,
17th,
better not call out another
86.
day. I'm watching you. I'm working on you.
I think one of the things that sort of cemented our relationship is the fact that we were able to get away and be distant from our families in the formative years of our relationship. I think that helped us to learn each other without any interruptions. Because sometimes, if you don't know that, if a young man or young woman, if they were so ingrained into depending on a mom or dad or whoever that person of care was, they can be so attached to them that whenever there is a issue or concerns, they will run back to their mom or run back, and that's not good at all. Let me say this to anybody that maybe hear this in the days to come. If you're getting married or if you are young in your relationship, that's something that you don't ever want to do. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. That's what they call in the world today a deal breaker. When there is an issue and there will be issues, there will be concerns, and you take your issue or your problem or your concern and you take it back and share it with your family members, whether it's your brother, your sister, your mama, your daddy. That's a deal breaker. That's a no-no, because your family members won't ever forget something that you said derogatory about your mate. I've seen it happen. And I would just say that's something that we will probably put in the book when we write it. That's one of the big no-nos you don't ever want to do, is to complain to your parents about your spouse, because it's hard to recover.
Right, and that's probably going to be a one-day complaint, and then tomorrow
y'all be happy again.
Then you done the damage to the family. They don't see you. Well, they will not see you in the same light,
right? Because
they're like, that's not, no, and they will never forget it. So some people, if you want to go spiritual, some people in that particular situation probably would never make it to heaven because they're still holding stuff over something that someone said of an individual that said, let's just say if it was you, saying, well, Mary did so and so and so and so something. No, she didn't. And then now you're trying to blend into a family that is looking at something that the husband went back and said about the spouse. They're not going to forget that. I don't care how much they hug on you and love on you. They're not going to forget that. They'll keep looking and say, I remember when. But just know that keep your business to yourself, and sometimes even sharing your business to your quote ace coon best friend, that's not healthy. I mean, I know you got to talk to somebody, but if you're sharing your business with someone that's not even together with their own spouse, not good, because that's a strike. Because even though they might be your best friend, and they already separated from their spouse or they're divorced from their spouse, and then you're trying to share, well, this is what my husband do. Then they're gonna say, child, I'm gonna tell you what I did, honey, child. I just got rid of mine. Then next thing you're gonna start thinking is trying to get rid of yours. So you got to be very, very careful who you share, like Pastor just said.
Yeah, and that goes, either even when it's something good that you like about your spouse.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be
We're trying to tell you, listen, we have talked to so many couples, and there has been so many situations that that we've heard. And listen, there's just some things you just don't want to share in your relationship. That's between you and your spouse. And some things you don't ever want to say. You don't ever want to say or talk about or discuss some issues. And again, whether it's good or bad, because you start talking about how good your spouse is to you sexually, that's going to turn some people on. That's going to get them interested, and you never know. People are evil. We're living in a day now when best friends will have a relationship with their best friends or their significant other's spouse. And that's we don't like to, we don't want to be truthful about it, but we're just telling you the honest God's truth. It happens every day. It happens in the church. It happens out of the church. You want to protect your relationship. I'm telling you, everybody in the church, hate to say it, but everybody can't be trusted. No. So when you're talking about, what he did to you and all that, you don't want to do that. Praise the Lord. Keep that stuff to yourself. Because that is, you never know who you're talking to. And then that spirit will attach itself to you. And I think you said something earlier about making comparisons in your relationship with other people. Comparing your spouse, whether it is something physical, whether it's something financial, whether it's materialistic, or the resources that your spouse have, or a man, if he's not where he's going to be in his life or his finances, you got to give him time to get there.
Give him time to get there.
Yeah.
And vice versa, give her time, because she might be, trying to get to a certain place and the timing is not good. Could have possibly had kids. And sometimes when you have children in your career aspect, that might be a setback, not a negative setback, but a setback for your continuation. You might be trying to get a home or buy or purchase a house, and you've been trying for the last 8 or 9 years. It might not be the time yet because of other things that have taken priority. So prioritize, and their time will actually, mend for itself. And always build your husband. I don't really know, excuse me, a better way to say that, but always build your husband. And my father, Pastor J.J. Williams, has said, I always ask my husband, did he ever tell you this? But he said to me, he said, Mary, always build him. Never pull him down. Push him up. Compliment. Well, I was going to compliment. I was complimenting him before Dad said that, but I didn't understand why I said, I got to do all the building. So if he going to build me too. And I understand it because we're supposed to undergird our spouses. And I'm not saying this just to be on camera, because if I was, he knows that if I want to say something on or off camera, I'll start saying it. But build him. I might not be the greatest, sharpest dresser in the world, but I work on my attire. You feel what I'm saying? And I might not be the greatest this or that, but whatever I'm the greatest at, that spouse should push that greatness. If I'm for instance, I think he's an awesome preacher. I think he's an awesome pastor. I'm going to push him to his greater. I'm going to push him to his greater and tell him, not just saying, oh, you're great, but I'm going to talk about how he broke down the word. That would make me feel good too if I got the same thing. It's supposed to be interactive in that sense. If you're not good in a certain area, that's not something that you're supposed to belittle your spouse, because that spouse cannot do something that you have not given them an opportunity to do to make better. So I just look at it as though relationships can be mended, because some of the things that you might be battling with are simple things that can be fixed. It can be fixed with communication. I have learned one thing: when to say to a husband, we need to talk. I've learned that over the time. That can be a setback to a husband, because they're thinking all these things going in their head, wondering what we need to talk about. But the Lord will give you an opportunity to share what is really what's on your mind in a positive way, not an attack. I don't attack my husband. I don't attack him. There's a difference in presentation and there's a difference in attack. Because you don't attack the individual. Just find a way, Lord, how can I say this to my husband where he will hear what I'm saying and he will respond?
Yeah. Also, I think you have to make investments in your relationship. Um, and that's, I mean, you can do that in 1,000 ways, but um, having someone that you can look up to is one of the first things that I realized that we needed earlier in our relationship. And I never forget, I think her name was Jackie
Clark.
Jackie Clark. I never forget her. And
7 years ago.
and she didn't even know. She wasn't somebody that was in the church per se to
No.
be giving us advice, but she said something that I would never forget because she had a home, and her home they had a whole lot of nice things. And one of the things that she said was, this. I think at that time they'd been married like 20 some years, and she was saying to us, "This is what we accumulated over the years." Because when you go to Germany, my sister Jackie is on here too. Hey, Jackie. Um, Jackie and Carl got married this year, and certainly I think they're doing well. They're always traveling.
Please go places.
Yeah,
Please travel.
I think that's one of that. Yeah,
That
to
is
get out from.
Please
Yeah.
travel.
That's another good way
Mhm.
to enhance your relationship.
Exactly.
To get out from family and
Got
to travel, take pictures. Jack and Carl do a good job of that.
Yes.
But what I was saying was this Jackie and her husband, when we first got to Germany, one of the things that every couple that goes to Germany during that time, they want to bring home, they want to get a clock,
Cuckoo clock and
they want to get a shrunk, and if they can, they get a new vehicle, BMW, Mercedes.
That's all. Volvo was in back then.
Volvos. But then she gave us this for some reason. She just told us, listen, what we have, we accumulated this over the years. And I don't know why she said that, but it was something that we needed to hear, and it stayed with us.
What happened was at that time when we went over to her house, you looked at all of that stuff and said, "Oh man, I wish I had that. Oh my God, I want that." And we were just getting there.
Yeah.
And so I went over there with 2 luggages, and that was it.
And some clothes hangers that she didn't want to get rid of.
At the airport.
Lord have mercy. That was
30-some years ago, y'all. I mean, I was green. I was from North Carolina, never been anywhere.
This girl was a trip. Let me tell you.
And I was hanging on to my clothes.
She was a trip. She had clothes hangers that she didn't want to get rid of. We had to throw stuff away because I think our bag was overweight. And
I'm taking the clothes hangers on that plane.
Goodness, she had a lot of little stuff. I said, well,
it was so funny because he was trying to be so nice to me.
To be nice.
And we had this little luggage that we had. We had to leave a whole luggage. And I was like, oh no. I mean, because you have to understand, I came from a small area. And and I had a man that said he was going to take me off to the Sunset.
He came from the small area.
Yeah, I came from a very, very small area.
Country.
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain. And so to come, Okay. And so I mean, there's good stuff that come out of the country. So, hello, you got a country girl. All right, thank you. And but so I don't label that kind of thing. But I came from a small area, so I was just a firm believer that if I had some clothes hangers, that I could have something hang up my clothes. But I didn't realize when I got to the airport, and we were over there just sweating. He was looking at me like, we got to release this stuff. And I'm like, but I need my clothes hangers. What do you need your clothes hangers for? And so, you understand. I didn't know that I need to leave some things, but we were learning one another. And so I totally agree that to learn one another, and if I can go backwards just for a moment, when you're married to the people.
It's Krista Grant. She says,
Yeah.
when you're married, keep people out of your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Can't nobody counsel me in my marriage. No other man or woman that is not in our union or ones with Abba Father.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think it's all right to have counseling, Krista, but you got to know the people that you are receiving counsel from.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible talks about in a multitude of counselors there is safety. So counseling is good. It just depends on who you're listening to.
Yeah, and so sister, I wanted to go back just for a moment, and when we was talking about people, and I never had the experience with. Thank you guys. I never had the experience with the awful mother-in-law and father-in-law type thing. Never had that experience, and I was sitting in the nail shop today, and I was going to type it into his side of the family chat that we're in, and I didn't, and I said my mother-in-law when she was alive. And we moved to Germany, and probably his siblings probably don't even know this. When she would call my house, she would call us all the way over in Germany. When she called, Larry Pastor would answer the phone, and she'll speak to him for about a minute and say, "Let me speak to Mary." Y'all don't understand her mode. I think her overall gesture was to make me feel accepted. And not to, you can't get that from everybody. So when she would call, she would always talk to me. She was not one of the mother-in-laws that would call and just talk to Larry. And I'm laying in the bed and then when he hangs up, she said hello. When I can't say hello back if you've already hung up. Never had that problem. She would ask to speak to me. And there are not too many people like that these days. She made me feel accepted. She drew me into the family, and she told me how much she loved me. She even bought things for me, sent them to me overseas. I mean, y'all just don't know. That did me so good because I'm new. I was newly married, totally newly married, but she was right there. She didn't say anything about my relationship with Larry. She was like, "What can I do for you?" And man, did that make me feel good. And then she said, "Well, do you want me to buy you some other things?" And she would buy stuff like from JCPenney's. We didn't have a JCPenney's in Germany, but she would purchase things, send them to me to make, so I can have them, and made me feel like I was somebody special. So that helps me understand where my husband got that from. You can be in a family, any family, whether it's my family or his family, and you can have some of the same traits, but everybody's not going to have the same traits. Obviously, he took after his mom. Obviously, he took after his father too, because his father used to pray all the time, and he loved to preach. He loved the word, and he took after his mom because she had a heart to reach out for everybody. She didn't isolate anybody from anything. On my birthdays, she would call and tell me happy birthday.
Yeah,
that was important to me, y'all.
Those were just good values, and my siblings are on here. And a couple of them, Jackie and Mo, was on here.
Oh, great. Mo, she did. She called me.
those were just values that was instilled in us at an early age. We were having breakfast this morning, and there was a young, well, not a young man. He was an older gentleman. I could tell that he had been in the military, and he had lost his hearing, so he was talking real loud. Everybody in the place could hear him. And I told her before he even began to talk that he had a hearing problem, because if you've been in the military, you understand, been around certain equipment long enough, you have to, if your ears get messed up, you have to speak.
That's why you talk so loud.
My hearing is good. I got good hearing. I tried to project my voice because, it's just something that I had to learn to do in the military while standing before the formation. But this man, they were going to put him out the restaurant. They wanted to put him out. And the manager came and said to him, "Well, you can't be using profanity." And we were sitting there.
Said, "Did you use profanity?"
Yeah, no, he actually accused him.
Yeah. Then he asked him.
Yeah.
That's when. Go ahead.
And then I told the manager, I said, listen,
He did not.
I did not hear him use profanity. He was just an older man that was speaking his mind, and the people did not. They didn't like it. In fact, one of the ladies that was the couple that was sitting next to us, they got up and left. They got afraid for some reason. Said, but anyway, we I talked to the manager. Then we paid for the gentleman's meal. But those are just some things that we learned to do. It was instilled into us. I think we've been on here long enough.
This is good. I mean,
But
I don't know what they're saying because I can't see comments. Yeah.
But anyway, anytime you have an opportunity to do good, and that's one of the things that my mom would tell us. Anytime you have an opportunity, yeah, this is the church page.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the church page, not the. It's my page right here.
I got you.
So yeah, but that's just part of who we are. Sister Essence, God bless you. Essence Lynn, God bless you.
Yeah, but it has been, yes, it has been, it's been a great journey, and I pray that the Lord allow us to live and be married 30, 40 more years or more. And that's not just saying it, but I actually pray that that would be the desires of God. And I'm always, and 36 years, ladies, I'm still learning Him. I have not found everything. I am still learning Him. And so I adapt to things that I don't quite get, nor do I understand. I adapt, or we, work it out. So don't throw in the, as y'all say, don't throw it in the towel. There's no reason to, walk away when you don't quite understand. Just, give the husband time to explain himself, time to talk. I'm learning over the years. Sometimes Pastor tells me, you don't give me time to finish my sentence. And then I'm guilty of that because women talk, and I got the research on, I think it's 20,000 words a day, and men only give up at least 5,000. I don't know if Pastor give 5,000. He might give 1,000.
I mean,
but and it's okay, and it's not just him. I'm just talking about men in general. So, and this because we're working with the two sides of the brain for the females, and we have to we're thinking way for the answer way ahead before we even get there. So just know that your relationship can flourish. I don't care what you say. I mean, it can flourish. And so we're here to build. I'm sure after this goes off, people will message us, and what about this? And what if he's doing this and he's doing that? If things have happened over the course of the years in your relationship, just believe that the Lord will allow you all to have conversation enough to unfold what's happening and work it out, if it's meant to be worked out.
Yeah, Sister Wooden says she's still learning her husband, which is good.
Got to learn.
Praise the Lord.
You can't learn overnight. It's gonna take some time.
So hey guys, listen. I think we have used up our time, and we thank you for yours. Just pray for us as we continue to do what we been called to do, and to build other couples. Pray for our marriage. We'll pray for yours. And remember, the enemy in this hour that we're living in, this day and time, Satan is doing everything that he can, literally everything that he can, to disrupt marriages and relationships and families, because he hates families. There is a great war that has been launched against family. Even when you go and look up family in the dictionary, it's not the same definition as it was in earlier days. Try it if you don't believe me. Look up the word family in the dictionary, and go back and find an old Webster or old dictionary, maybe in 1970 and 1980, when it was published, and compare the two different definitions. And so what is happening
Yep.
in this hour now. Families are just, we're having a lot of issues, and I think if you're a couple, if you're married, um, let your marriage represent um, God's mindset or God's idea of marriage. Be an example to others. You never know who you are watching or who's watching you when you go out, how you live your life. People are looking for strong people. They're looking for good examples, and we try to be conscious of who we are. In fact, the compliment that a lady gave, didn't even know who we were when we walked
We just
into.
stepped out the car.
We just got out of the vehicle, and this lady didn't know who we were. We didn't have a T-shirt on saying that we were pastors or anybody. But what did she say?
She looked at us and said that you all are a beautiful couple. She said, I love to see people look like you all. And the way you're dressed, she says, I'm not trying to get deeply spiritual on you guys, but I must say it's different. You look wonderful. She was complimenting good. She wanted to say a good Christian couple because she wasn't sure.
She wasn't sure.
She wasn't sure to use the word.
Yeah.
And we didn't say anything. I just looked at her and said, thank you so much. And she said, that's all I have to say. She said, I love seeing what I see.
Yeah, so people are always watching. And I say, let's do this married thing right as much as we possibly can. What we're not doing right, those areas that we need to fix or to strengthen, let's be willing to do that for the glory of the kingdom and for being good, solid people, because we have families, we have children that is watching us. We are our children's models, role models, first line role models when they get married. I am so proud of my children in their relationship. Larry is doing a wonderful job. Ben, I think they're going on their second year in their marriage. They're doing a wonderful job. He's a great father, a great provider. I'm seeing the time that he's spending with his wife Ashley, and they're learning from us. They're learning from us the way he's raising his son. It's a compliment for what we instill in them. Quinetta and Brandon, the same way. They're a little more outgoing and they have a lot of fun. But that's because of how we live this thing out before them. I would say, and I know I'm going off, but when you as a couple, when you air your grievances before your children, that's not healthy for them.
That's not good.
If a man is very, very disrespectful to his spouse, right, his son is going to end up being disrespectful to his spouse. So there's a lot of things that we can do, not realizing the damage that we're doing, and especially for our children.
And some people think it's cute. That's not cute.
It's not cute.
That's not cute.
And some people, there are folk that won't listen to us because they think that they think that we are better than anybody else. But it's never like that. We are people trying to do right, trying to be examples in our community. And some people will hate you or dislike you just so that they can dislike you, or they won't support anything that you're doing because it's us. But we try to support everybody. The stuff that we do to support other people, we don't get in return. We don't get it back. I try and do everything that I can for everybody, but I don't get it back in return. But I have accepted that.
Yeah, that's some things you just have to accept. And I always look at it like this: in the end, God wins. He always wins. He's already won. The victory is already won. And from our heart, we're kind to everybody. As a married couple, as pastor and first lady, we help everybody, especially if they want us to. The ones that don't even want us to or don't know that we're helping, sometimes we do that anonymously. but we help people, but we don't get that back. I mean, you don't get that. We don't bought so many bricks and built churches and did some of everything to help. In other words, we go to people's services or we send money or something to assist if we cannot be there physically. But you know what? The Lord knows our heart. And I think it's all about the heart. And I don't think we need to spend time. I always tell them that we don't need to spend time on that because God is going to reward us because we're not doing it for the people. We're doing it for God. And so our relationship, our marital relationship, we're doing it for God.
Thank you, Sister Grant. Thank you, Mother Matt. We're praying for you. Dear church mother, Mother Connie Hasty is watching. God bless you. You all, the numbers are probably a little low because we're actually live streaming from my Facebook page, from my church Facebook page, and from YouTube. We are, we're doing what we can. Again, we love you all so very much. Thank you for taking up time to listen to us tonight. Just spend some time together on this 36 celebration, 36 years of being together.
Holy matrimony.
Holy matrimony. Praise the Lord. We are thankful. Elder Peterson, God bless you, sir. He says we're doing a bumper job. Anthony Brown, God bless you if you're still watching. Sister Rosetta Brown, God bless you. We're getting some hearts from somewhere. But anyway, you got anything else you want to say before we leave?
He said we get some hearts from somewhere.
Yeah, somebody, I think it's sister.
No, I just enjoyed the conversation tonight. I really enjoyed the conversation.
All right. How do we end this? Y'all got any questions? Anything? Any questions?
One question, then we'll go.
Any questions y'all want to ask us before we leave? Sister Tanya Chisholm, I think she's getting ready to get married.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, Sister Tanya is getting ready to get married. God bless you. Any questions? Sister Stephanie Jenkins, God bless you. Elder Peterson, let's go fellowship.
He's not listening, Elder Peterson. He's not listening.
Oh, okay. No, he says he enjoyed the service. Elder Peterson. Yeah.
Oh, God, ain't but one Elder Peterson, y'all.
Ain't but one Elder Petersons. Mother Connie, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
For joining us tonight. We love y'all so very much. It's been a great day. We're gonna watch some television and grab some type of snack.
We haven't eaten since this morning.
No. It's too late to set out for something.
Oh, no, I'm not eating this time of night unless it's something. But I think they got a banana in there, fruit or something. We haven't eaten since breakfast, y'all. Okay, all right.
Okay, Jackie said it's not. All right, Jackie. God bless y'all. He told me quit clapping my hands.
That's what the governor in South Carolina did. We couldn't even hear what he was saying. He was like, stop it.
Jesus Christ is online, the real Lord watching with me. He says, listen for his voice in your mind. Sister Grant, thank you so much for supporting us and being on here tonight. Again, we will have a seminar on June the 24th during our Week of the Word conference. It's going to be a great conference. Take that out. Yeah. So, but we appreciate y'all. Father, we thank you for this time and thank you for 36 years of marital bliss. We bless you on today and we pray that you will bless everyone that will see and watch and view this live in the days to come. Thank you for preserving us and sustaining us and keeping us. And I speak blessings upon every home, every marriage. I pray that something that we said tonight will enlighten and encourage the listeners. Good night, everybody. We love y'all. Have a wonderful evening. God bless.